Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. Okay, so we are on the dress and the face for the little girl. So, a lot of ink pads that are out there. This is Distress ink from Tim Holtz. This is Colorbox. There's so many different. There's goodness, what other ones are there? There are archival ones from Brilliant. There's Adirondack. There's Ink It Up, StazOn. I mean, you can go the whole gamut. StazOn and archival inks and whatnot are not water. They're waterproof. They're not reactivated by water. However, Distress ink and a lot of the cheaper ones, actually, I don't think I've really found many of the cheaper ones, which I have tons of, that are permanent. I might be wrong, but I don't know. We're just going to be using these today. So what I want to do is her little, let me move this back, her little dress. And I got some stamps. It doesn't matter what you have. I will, like I said, I'm going to be having a video come out with at home stuff that you can use to stamp, and it'll be a different background, different kind of thing rather than this. However, I want to show you a few quick things. So when we did the dress, we had extra paint left, extra paper left over. So I'm just going to kind of set that to kind of guard the background for what I'm about to do. Now, this is watercolor paper. You can see it kind of has bowed. Now, if I take, which I will do at the end, if I take some water and spray it on the back and see if it'll dry straight that way. If not, I lay books on it. Sometimes it doesn't bow. Sometimes it does. Obviously, it's bowing now. Okay, so let's start. I like to do light to dark. So we're just going to start with this color. It's called Canary, and it's from Colorbox. I love Colorbox. I love all ink pads. And I'm just going to take, this is one of my favorite stamps ever. I've used it a million times. And I'm just going to stamp on some of my yellow. And I do it like that. I turn it over on the stamp. Sometimes you'll see me do it the other way. I don't know. I guess it depends on my mood because I can be moody. Okay, so now, you want to kind of protect your outside stuff that you already did, your background. So I'm just going to take this in any order, and you're not going to be able to see it very well. I see that the sun's coming through my blinds. But you're just going to kind of go. And you can see, like, my paper's bowing and everything like that. So I love when that happens because, well, I really don't love it, but because it shows you guys that stuff like that happens to everybody. So you can do that too, like I said, to watch that, you don't go out on the lines. This is a light color, so it's not going to be a big deal. And I'm just going to kind of go stamping around. All right, and that's like number 1 pattern. Now, I'll put my back. Okay, let's use some Distress ink, and we will use, it is called Salty Ocean. Again, whatever you guys have. Woo! Or you could throw the lid on the floor. That could be a fun thing. Okay. I know, I just make myself laugh. All right, and again, and you can, go on this, and you don't have to do the whole stamp. Just do random. I'm going to be doing a, what's it called? Darn it. What is it called? And don't forget, if you have extra ink, stamp off on another piece of paper in your art journal or another paper, and that becomes part of a background at some point. So you don't waste the ink, so to say. But you see, I just did it on here. I'm going to be doing a grungy. Now, I'm going to want to cover this one just because I know. See, that way I can stamp. The extra goes on there. It doesn't go on my background that I did. It's going to be a little harder to do a bigger stamp on the top of the dress, but I'm just going with it. See? Now I'm going to just touch the corner in that little middle part. And anywhere, like I said, you're in control. So don't get freaked out if you only have a certain type of stamp, or you don't have many, or yours is too big or too small, it doesn't matter. It's all about having fun. All right, so far we're having that. We're just decorating it, and now I have a red. And if you notice, I'm pulling out colors from the background. I got some yellow, which you can see comes up looking like yellow through here. I don't know if you can really see that. Looks like the light's kind of crazy. And then the blue, obviously, we have blue in here. And I'm going to do some red on her dress. We're going to outline her dress in a darker color, so it's, you know, kind of stands out and pops. Because I like it when it pops. So now I'll take just this musical stamp, and I'll just put some red on it, just a little bit on the corner. I'm going to lay this down over here, and you can see I'm just adding it in, not worrying that it's not fully printing. I don't care, just adding some texture. And if you need a little bit more, now remember, these are the distress ones, and they are not waterproof. So they have great uses for 1,000 things. Sometimes, you know, like I said, it will react. That was a slow word, Cal. Reactivate it. But, you know, and the big deal, it's not going to, I'm going to have to be a little careful. I'm going to have to be careful and try to find the lid that I'm sure went all the way in the corner. What happened to the lid? Because if I don't remember to get it now, I will never get it. But I don't know where it went, so, oh well. Such is life. Okay. So, see how that worked out? Now, because this is water reactivated with water, you can take your paintbrush. Say you're looking at it and you're like, you know, I made a little mistake there. Let me just take a little bit of water on my paintbrush. A little bit of water. And just go on that arm that I did. And look how fun. And then you take your paper towel or whatever you're using. I have rags everywhere. Just using my finger right now. But you see, it got it off. I got a little bit here. Gonna do that. And that's one good thing about it being reactivated with water. But at the end of the day, I don't care. You can also go back over this. Blur it out a little bit. Do whatever you want. It's yours, sweetie. Okay. So far, so good. Now, my obsession will start over. Oh, I got such a sore throat. Obsession will start over that lid. Okay, so you want to let this dry fully. Hit it with your heat gun, hair dryer. You know, I tell you guys all the time, a heat gun is a wonderful thing to have. You can use a coupon at AC Moore and Michaels, and I think I'm going to be doing a giveaway of a heat gun coming up. So many people don't have a heat gun. And so I'm thinking about it coming up. It might be in my big 10,000 subscriber giveaway. But you can go to the thrift store, any thrift store, Goodwill, whatever, and buy a cheap hair dryer. Or use the hair dryer you have at home, and it'll continue. It'll dry it for you and everything. Remember, if you're using water soluble ink pads, which a lot of them are, like I've said, and I only keep I'm going to use a word that doesn't belong here. What word do I keep saying that to you guys about the reactivate and the water soluble, because a lot of times, and this happened to me when I first started out years ago, and maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I went out and I went to Michael's, and I have tons of these stamp pads, but they're a little more inexpensive than, say, Stays On or Distress Ink. Distress Ink's only really come out the past few years, and they're inexpensive, and so I bought a bunch of them. I came home so excited, played, and, you know, went to do, I don't know, mixed media on there or put something or whatever, and it smeared when I first started. And I was like, what the heck? Then when I started getting more books and investigating and reading and YouTube videos and all that kind of thing, I come to realize that they weren't, permanent. So I think they're called solvents, or what's the one called? Memento, that's the other one, and it's a fade-resistant dye ink. Those are more dye inks, the ones that are permanent. So anyway, I have tons of them. Even when I do giveaways, I give them away because I think they're wonderful. They're wonderful to have. They're wonderful to start out with. And like I told you guys before, hit this with the heat gun. You can go over with a little bit of Mod Podge, a little bit of white glue with a little bit of water, but make sure you only go over it once. You can spray it with, oh, what's my favorite stuff that I love? Oh, you know, when you spray it and it doesn't move, fixative. Krylon makes a great fixative. And you can spray it and leave it dry and it becomes permanent. So then you can work over this. And I'll do that in another video. Veronica asked me to do a more realistic kind of goth looking girl. So that'll be like the next thing I do. But yeah, so we'll go through a more advanced type kind of background. I'll probably do it on a canvas or something. But because this is really bothering me, I don't know why. Now this will go into a frame beautifully, but it's just really getting on my nerves. Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm talking about a minute. But there's her dress. So let's turn her around. Now, as you can see, I'm blurry, so you can't see. All right then. We're going to start on her face. And before, I told you I have light flush. And we're going to use that on her face. And we're just going to go over. I'm not going to be too fancy. I'm just going to pour. Now, I'm not going to worry about shading her face on this one, as I'm just teaching you guys, showing you guys how I do this. But the next one I do, I will shade. I'll do more shading and a little bit more... I don't want to say the word complicated because it's not complicated, but it's different. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different. And so I'm kind of going where I have my, and you can water down this paint too if you want. You don't have to keep it that, you don't want to water it too much, but your brush, you don't have to take off all the water and it just thins it out. Sometimes I like to do a lot of layers, meaning, you know, coats of paint for the face or when I shade or whatever, because it lets me have a little bit more control, and especially when you go to shade. So I'm going to leave that there. And, you know, you can wet it, and sometimes, like I said, shades are a few more coats is a good thing. I just wet my brush a little bit more, and I'm just pulling it out a little bit. And I'm going to leave that little bit of white right here, and I will show you in a second. Now, while I got this paint on here, let me go over these arms again. Okay. Just a little bit. And I don't care that the paint's coming through, and you shouldn't either. It's a mixed media piece. You know, where sometimes you have dry paint that falls off, and it's right there, and it says hello, but I don't care. All right. And just paint it on. Very simple. Remember, I'm not about being perfect. It's just having fun. Just sit and have fun and do it. And, you know. Now, again, like I told you guys, if you don't have flash color, there's nothing wrong with that. Do white. Add a little bit of pink to it. A little bit of white, a little bit of pink. Work with it. Make it a color. A little bit of orange or tan. Something like that. This lid is going to bother me until I find it. Isn't that weird? That's OCD in me. I am so sorry because I have me some OCD. Most of you who know me know that. Okay, so we got our face, and blow it dry with your heat gun or your hair dryer. And if I moved my heat gun to bring it over here, it would probably make everything fall. Okay, we're just doing this for a minute. Let's decide what color we're going to do her hair. Now, do we want her to have regular colored hair? Brown, black, blonde, red? I really am a red. I do love the red hair. Orange. I think orange would make it blend in with the back too much. A nice red might be nice, but I'm thinking more of like a dark brown or a black. Really, that's what I'm keep looking at. Let me see. I like black. This is purple. That might be too much. See, I don't want to do that dark. How about a gold? Like a mustardy color. What color are you, mister? Antique gold. I don't know. I might have to, that's still a little bit wet. I might have to decide. Leave the hair till last. I don't know. I'm so confused. Any suggestions? Leave down below. What color I should do her hair. All right. Let me grab my fancy pins. More pencils. Now I like to use, where are they? I've done a lot of videos using these, but my colored pencils, my Prismacolor pencils. And that's what I'm going to use just to sketch out the face here. Okay, so I'm going to pick, what color are you, my friend? Burnt Umber. Burnt Ochre. God, if I could read, wouldn't that be fantastic? Alright, so I'm going to go in here. Now I can still see, I don't know how well you can see. See how you can still see the eyes and the nose under there a bit? Kind of where we want to go. And I'm not worried that the skin isn't, I painted it and it's a little washed out or whatever. I'm not going to worry about it because up here where I have the head where we glued it on, you can see where I have the gesso or molding paste or whatever you used. Her hair is going to come down in here anyway, so don't worry about it too much. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to trace to the best of my ability. I'm not going to worry if it's not perfect. I'm just going to trace my eyes where I see that they are. Or you can redraw them, it doesn't matter. Now, if you do this and you don't like it, you can definitely paint over it, or you could, you know, we'll fix it with the paint, or what are these called? Colored pencils. I still can't find my drawing thing that I love to have, but no big deal. And see, we're just kind of following along very lightly, not too pushing too hard. Okay, then I gotta do her eyebrows. I'm gonna show you. All right, we can clear up. See, very simple. Now we have our guidelines there. Let's do some eyebrows. Just short strokes. Major. Very easy. And we got her face coming up. Now, this is where you're going to decide. Am I going to use paint? Am I going to use marker? Am I going to use colored pencil? What am I going to use to finish to do her face? Her eyes, her, you know, her nose, her lips, whatever. So I'm going to probably, let me get my shading out for the neck. That needs done. What color are you? I know, it's taking a long time. I'm sorry. All right, this is, gosh, I'm getting old. I can't read. I can't see. Bronze. So I'm just going to go in under her neck a little bit with my colored pencil. Use your Crayolas. Use whatever you have. It's all good. And I'm just going to kind of see how I just give her that little bit of, and you can go in with your finger and kind of smudge it if you want. Like I said, I go back and touch everything up with paint and all, but I just want a little bit of, now I know her eyebrows, I want them to be a bit darker. So I'm just going to go in so I can see a little bit better how I want them framed. And really, eyebrows, do whatever eyebrows you want. What I hate doing, because I'm not good at it, is the only reason I hate it, and I will do it once in a while, is eyelashes. I can't grasp eyelashes. I do them, and I try them, and I watch people, and I'm like, ooh, I think I got it. And then I do it, and then not so much. Just saying. And they seem so simple, but not for me. So I just accept it, and that's, you know, pretty much where I'm at. So I accept it, and I'm done. So let me get the lipstick color. And maybe we'll do the eyes first. Yeah, let's do green eyes, because I always do green. So first I'm going to use, now this is from Martha Stewart, and it's one of my favorite colors. There's like apple green, color are you, my friend? This is Granny Smith. Yeah. So you see, I don't know. Does she even sell paints anymore? I don't know. But I love this color. And that's what I'm going to use as the middle of our eye right there. So I'm going to take my little brush, rinse her off, tap it. I don't know why I tap it. It makes me feel fancy though. Okay. So I'm going to get some of that green on there. And I'm just going to, now you might want to use a smaller brush than me, but it's okay. And I'm going to go in and just get that painted. Now we'll be putting white in there as the eyeball. And this could be any color, any eye color you want. Or make it fancy, you know, like funky, like an orchid. Or, I mean, nowadays people have all kinds of different colors for their eyes. All right. So I'm going to go around that with a darker green. So let me grab my darker green. Okay. Oh, of course. Why focus? Magic. Magic. And I'm just dipping that little bit. And I'm going to go outside just a very, I mean, this is probably too much. So I'm just going to wipe some of it on my mat here. And you can see it mixing with the light green underneath. So a little bit more dark color in there. And I'm just mixing them. Now I'm going to pull it up and just kind of lightly go around. And it can be as thick as you want it, or you don't even have to do that if you don't want. Or you could use a marker, or you could use a color pencil, whatever you want. Now, I should have grabbed a smaller brush. Let me see if I can use this one. I want to kind of go in and kind of blend it a little bit into that lighter green before it dries. But it seems like it's drying pretty fast, of course. Because, hey, why not? Just kind of move it around, squish it around. And we'll go in and put a little bit more of the light in. Right now we just kind of want this blended. You can hear my dog's feet. Oh, that's something. Okay. Now with acrylic paint, the more you put, you know, you work with it, a little bit of water, unless it's cured, which is when it's completely dry. You really can't move it. I don't know what that was out there. All right. So I'm just going to do this so I can get some color laid in there. And that's all we're doing is adding color. And you can see, I want you to see, both my pupils are different. They're kind of different, right? One is bigger. One's, I got green on her face now, but we're going to fix all that. That's not a big deal. This is just laying the color in. And no big deal. I want this to dry so I can see where I'm at. That's how I do it. Maybe you don't do it that way. It's all up to you. And for her lips, I'm going to go in. I'm not real sure what color I want to use for her lips. I'm thinking this is a pretty color. This is lavender. So I think I might go in. And again, you use whatever you want. And I'm going to go in with colored pencil right now, because I will go over it with paint. But right now I just kind of want to see how this works. Like a fuchsia or a, yeah. I want to see how that goes with the background, but that looks good. Well, if it cleared up, you could see it. What is it focusing on? I have no idea. It's not focusing on the picture. There you go. So can you see? And like I said, don't worry about the eyes. The eyes are fine. We will get the eyes. But that's what I'm at 24 minutes, and that's pretty much where we're going to end it today. Just getting kind of the features kind of put in there and to let it dry and to see, you know, what we're going to do next. The hair color, let me know down below what you're thinking. I'm not real sure what I'm thinking, but yeah, not hating her. Like I said, for, you know, sitting and doing it for 10, 15 minutes at a time, really that's all I can handle right now. So, you know, I hope you guys are having good success. And as always, you know, tag me with your pictures. Send me your pictures. I love them. I don't, even if you're not following these, just send me your artwork. I love seeing them and tag me. But yeah, so that's where we're at now. And then when we come back, we're going to do her hair and we're going to finish up her face and that kind of thing. And really, we're going to be almost done with her. So, and then we can go on and add a little bit more, maybe some words or, you know, just some really good things there to really bring it to life. A quote. If you know a good quote, if you have a good quote that you want me to use, put it down below so I can see what you guys are saying. And that's about it for today. So, as always, be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.